we're going to talk here today about upselling. You'll hear us talk about upselling or upserving. And really what that means is just helping leverage the order that you've already got to serve the customer in a higher level by getting them just a better deal or discount on things they're going to want to get in the future anyway. Okay. So the goal with this is not to about how can I talk people into more stuff, but rather how can I parlay the great demo you just did? Like Sadie just did a great demo. Saint Sadie did a great demo, got the customer fired up about whatever they're getting. And there's going to be more stuff that they want that they eventually just tap out. Customers eventually just say, no, I guess I'm done. But what I discovered when I was a new rep was 9 times out of 10, the customer actually tapping out had way less to do with the customer tapping out and way more to do with me getting just a little bit satisfied. Okay, me getting really excited about my sale. And then even as an experienced salesperson, a lot of times just me getting complacent, just bad habits. Okay. So here's what I want to teach you guys today. And even if you don't end up like locking in all the technique, and I'm going to teach you kind of some technique, this will be a note-taking section for y'all. If you can just remember this principle, time well spent. Okay. Time well spent. So let me just kind of quickly screen share this. And actually here, let me explain it first and I'll screen share. Here's what you have to understand. And I'll use a story about me being done with money because I have a lot of stories about that. Weirdly, I don't know why. My wife has no stories about being done with money because she's better at money than I am. Okay, my wife hit me up here, and this was like a month ago. All right, so it was in June, and she hit me up, and I always try to call her on the way home or text her and be like, "Hey, can I pick anything up on the way home?" Whether she needs food or groceries or whatever else it is, she does 90% of the work in our home, and so I try to do what little I can when I can. And so she said, "Hey, yeah, if you go by Target or wherever, grab a gallon of milk for the boys, but if you don't make it, it's not a big deal. We'll go get it tomorrow morning. No big deal." And I was like, not a problem. I got this. Milk. I can't even mess that up. Okay. And so I got to Target, and as soon as I get there, I don't know what was going on. It's like the Super Bowl was the next day, but the parking lot was just crazy, crazy full. And I'm like, son of a gun. And as I walked in, I don't know if you've ever been to Target where you see the checkout lane, like the like self-checkout, because I ain't about to go talk to people. I do that for a living. I'm not doing that on my free time. Okay. But the line for the checkout was like 20 deep. And I'm like, son of a gun. And immediately I was like, all right, she said it didn't really matter. Hell, I'll get up early the next day. I was treating it like y'all treat phone time for the record. I was like, oh, I'll just get up early tomorrow. I'll go get milk for her tomorrow. No problem. Okay. And so I literally started to walk out, and then I just stopped and I'm like, what am I doing? Like what am I doing? Who cares? So I have to wait 15 minutes in a checkout line. It's not that big a deal. It'll make her happy. I can actually contribute to my household in some way. I will get the milk. So I grab a cart, and as I'm going to the back, I literally see just an end cap. I was like, oh, they got like Sprites or like on sale. Okay, cool. I'm gonna grab some of those. My son, no, he likes Sprite. I like Sprite. That's good. And then we're walking, and they had like the bottles of wine, and they were doing the thing where it's a little extra discount. I was like, well, I'm here anyway. And Jesus turned water to wine. I'm a religious man. All right. So like I grabbed a couple bottles of wine, and then I literally, as I'm going, I was like, oh, they got some chips. That's cool. And then I rounded the corner, and this is the dumbest part of my story. And if y'all ask me later, I'll take a picture of this and put it in the group me, but they had this big like egg chair, and it's like an outdoor chair, but it just has a frame that goes around. It looks like an egg. And we had been in Target recently, and my wife was like, oh, that's really cool. That would look nice by the pool. And I almost got it for her for Mother's Day, but they had a little sign, and it was like 30% off. And I was like, oh, well, what the heck, man? Like, that's a really good deal. And I was like, I got some here. And I loaded up the egg chair. I put this giant, like, outdoor furniture box in my cart. And then we're going, and I ended up, like, I don't know what it was, $413. Okay? $413 is what I spent at Target that day. All right? So here is the image that I'm going to show y'all to explain, psychologically speaking, what was happening. Okay? The gap. Let's talk about the gap. When I was a new rep, all of y'all being newer salespeople on our team, your assumption is that the gap is between like customers getting something versus customers getting a lot of something. Okay. When I was new, I thought the gap was the customer getting, instead of getting a trimmer or a kitchenette set, which I was really good at selling both of those things, I thought the gap was between them getting a trimmer and them getting a homemaker. That's not the gap. Okay, guys, the gap is literally the customer making a purchasing decision. Okay, that is the gap. Like the psychological jump, the gap for me was not, am I going to go buy a damn egg chair and spend all this money? The gap for me was, am I going to bother waiting in line? Am I going to actually break out my credit card? Am I actually going to make a purchase? And once I had cleared that gap, it was very easy for me psychologically to just keep adding on. It wasn't a hard thing for me to do or even for me to justify once I had cleared the gap. So what does this mean? Okay, well, the good news is you guys are already doing the hard part. Congratulations. Yay. Y'all are way better at this job than you realize. And for a lot of y'all, you're way better at this job than you give yourself credit for. I know this because I see the sales reports. Guys, a lot of y'all have monstrously good closing percentages. Maybe you're not the top salesperson in your office. Maybe you're not dropping like $5,000 weeks left and right. But like if you go meet with 10 customers, you're going to hook up 7 or 8 of them with some Cutco. You have a very high closing percentage. Maybe you're selling smaller orders. Maybe you're getting a lot of pieces. I did too, particularly when I was new. Okay. But at the same time, you're actually really good. That means you're building value. That means that you're creating a positive experience for customers. That means you're raising value higher than price. Like you're doing so many things right. Okay. But a lot of times what happens is because those small sales, while they do add up, it takes a lot of small sales to add up to one big sale. I acknowledge that. Okay. Like acknowledge, understood. Takes a lot of petite carvers to equal up to one homemaker. So sometimes it's easy to get frustrated. It's easy to feel disappointed in your results. It's easy to feel discouraged. But what I want to encourage y'all and challenge y'all is that you're already doing the hard part. You just have to learn how to close that gap. And that's what's going to be key to getting you up to bigger orders. So that being said, let's kind of dive in and talk about how do we actually close that gap. Okay. So here's what you have to understand. For customers use like money for everything. Customers say, oh, it's too much money, or that's all I can afford, or all I do. Guys, anytime they say that, it's never about money. It's never about can I or can I not afford an extra $200. It's never about that. If it is about that, they're unemployed or they're not qualified and you shouldn't have seen them anyway. I'm just being honest with y'all. Okay. It's not about can I afford it. It's do I think it's worth it? Okay. So old people use money like y'all use I'm busy. When you don't want to do anything, you just say I'm busy. My mom has to make me do something or whatever. Okay. So that's how old people use money. And so you have to understand, guys, that it's not really about they can't afford it. It's just about they don't know if it's worth it. They don't know if they're going to regret it. 99% of the objections you're getting from your customers literally just come down to this. Am I going to feel good about this later? That's 99% of the objections you're getting. Okay. You don't know that because they say it different ways, but 99% of the objections you're getting is just your customer telling you in different ways with different words, man, I don't know. Like, am I going to feel good about this later? I don't know, Ashton, like, am I going to feel dumb? Am I going to regret this later getting this set of Cutco or these extra pieces of Cutco? That is 99% of the objections you're getting. And once you understand that, you guys start to learn how powerful your reassurance, your relaxed nature, your confidence, what a difference that makes. And so here's what I can tell you. The cool part about this, and then we'll actually jump through the technique. And the good news is it's pretty simple. There's just five bullet points I'll have y'all write down. But the good news is this, guys, by adding this on and consistently doing it, like we track crazy stats with our CSP community. I have the highest percentage of upsells out of all the CSPs we have in our TGP team, Texoma and Great Plains, and I add the most onto my orders. Guys, for me, the fun part is just them saying yes. If they buy a cheese knife, let's go. Game's on. Game on, baby. Okay. All I needed was that first yes, because now we're going to come and play. Okay. Because here's what's cool. When the discipline, what makes this effective is you doing it consistently. Okay. So just write this down. Consistent every time. Every single time you're going to offer an upsell, no matter what. And I'm going to teach you how to do it where it's not weird. Okay. But every time, that is the commitment you have to make. Every single time you're going to offer it. Okay. Now here's the good news. It's kind of like asking how many do you need? I ask that to everything I sell. Everything I sell. We're going to get a galley set. Great. How many did you need? And then they're going to do one of two things. They're either going to laugh at me and assume I'm joking. Okay. Brian, I think we'll get away with $1,000 out of knives. Okay. And then I just go, ha ha ha, I'm a funny guy. Ah. Okay. Whatever. But guys, laughter reduces tension. It's fine. If they laugh at me, like, good. They're having fun. I don't care. Like, what do I need? All right. I've got a wife. I've got kids. I have a Rolex. I'm set. I'm basically good till retirement. Okay. So who cares if they laugh at me? And so they do one of two things when I ask, how many did you need? They either laugh at me or they pause and they go, I mean, I don't know, Josh, why would I need more than one? Why would anyone buy more than one? Okay. Like that's what you get. By the way, y'all understand if they ask that question, they will absolutely consider buying more than one. Josh just has to give them a good enough reason to do it. Oh, well, actually, the reason a lot of people add them on is because when you bundle multiple sets, you get a way bigger discount, like a way bigger discount. So down the road, if you could see yourself ever wanting to have an extra galley set for a lake house as a gift for your kids, for another property, for your in-laws, maybe as a gift to the church, if you could ever see yourself wanting to do it down the road, it just makes sense to bundle it together because I could give you a stupid discount. So if you were to consider another set, who do you think you would buy it for? Ta-da! That's it. So I ask how many 100% of the time. They buy a cheese knife? Great. How many cheese knives did you need? Okay. 5 times out of 10, they say just one. And then the other 5 times they go, I don't know, why would I want more? Okay. Now it's not that high a percentage on sets, but I still ask it. So here's my point. It's never weird. It's never weird as long as you're not weird. You know why it gets weird? You made it weird. That's why it's weird most of the time. You made it weird. Okay. Like I've yet to have one customer in my entire storied career that goes, how dare you, sir? How dare you offer me quantity options? You can see yourself out. It's never happened and it's never going to happen, but we get weird and dramatic in our head because we make fear-based decisions in the moment, and that's okay because we're all human beings. It's okay. It's not a big deal. So a lot of y'all are afraid to ask, how many do you need? No big deal. It's not a big deal. It's only weird if you make it weird. Okay, so just like I ask, how many did you need every time, I offer an upsell 100% of the time, every single time. Okay, now here's what's cool. When people take the upsell, all right, and then we'll go through the technique of how, but here's what I want you to understand. Once someone says yes to the upsell, they have self-identified as someone that is motivated by a deal. All right. What does that look like? Okay. Megan says, hey, great job on that galley set, Mr. and Mrs. Jones. I'm so excited we found the right set for y'all. You guys are going to absolutely love this. I'm so fired up for you. Hey, by the way, just so you know, since you're getting this galley set, boy, if you did want to add that K-bar on that kind of caught your eye, I know we mentioned K-bar earlier, and I know your husband served. Boy, if you did want to add that K-bar on, I could actually get you one of the Cutco pocket knives for free. So it's this cool thing that they're doing right now. It's just a great discount. Hey, can I show you what that would look like in case you did want to add that on? Y'all see? And then Megan's customer's going to do one of two things. They'll either say, well, yeah, what would that look like? Or they'll be like, no, I think we're good. That's it. That's all that's ever going to happen. So Megan's going to offer this 100% of the time. Now, here's what you need to understand. The people that say yes to that K-bar, they have now self-identified that they are someone that is motivated by a deal. So the key is not just that you ask every time, you do, but the second rule is always offer a second upsell. Okay, so if they say yes, always offer a second upsell. This is where it gets interesting because people who are motivated by it the first time, half of them are motivated by it a second time. Okay, let's say half. All right. And so if they say yes again, they're going to do one of two things. They'll either say, yeah, let's do that too, Megan, or they will say, no, I think we're good. Okay. They will literally tell them, I'm good, Megan. I'm done. I'm tapped out. Fine. No problem. If they say yes to the second upsell, guess what I do? I offer again. So here's the key. You keep going until they tell you they are done. All right, so write that down. Okay, first rule is that you always offer. Second rule is if they say yes, you offer again. And then the third rule is you go until they say they're done. And by the way, when they say they're done, it's a funny thing. If you've never had this yet, like you're missing out. Michael Carpenter's had this where they're like, all right, I'll get that K-bar, Michael, but I'm not buying any more Cutco from you. Like that is all the Cutco I am getting. Okay, like if you haven't had that yet, like you're missing out. It's hilarious when they're just like, all right, Jackson, I'm done buying knives. You're like, all right, bet, because you just added $500 on your order. Okay, so here's what's cool. And this is math. I did this for another division here recently, but let's say over Megan's next 40 demos. Okay, let's say she offers it every time. And here's the thing, in my experience, about like with my percentages, about half my customers end up taking an upsell. Okay, and I'm going to give y'all, by the way, when this talk is done, I'm going to give you a handout that lists like 15 you can just offer. Cool. So some of y'all are like, okay, well, yeah, Brian, but you know what to offer. You've been doing this a long time. You're absolutely right. So I made a handout. You're welcome. Okay. So you're all going to get a handout that's going to make this very easy for you. Okay. So like, you don't have to stress, how am I going to actually do this, or on the spot, how do I think, how do I know what to offer my customers? I'm just going to give it to you. It's pretty easy. Just like keep it on your laptop, print it off. They're never going to see it. Add it to your training manual. It's not a big deal. Okay. But let's say, guys, over Megan's next 40 demos, she offers it every time. And let's say 20 of the 40 say yes. Because if you have good technique and you offer it every time, you're going to get a lot of yeses. Okay. So let's say half of them say yes, and she adds on $100 per. Maybe it's less, maybe it's more, whatever, using some normal numbers. Okay, let's say she adds on an extra $100. Okay, neat. Now, out of those people that she offers a second upsell, because that's where people miss out on, they stop. They get the one and they're like, yeah, I'm a sales king. I'm a queen. All right. And then they get complacent. All right. Instead of focusing on their technique, focusing on serving customers. Because guys, customers have fun with this. They really do have fun with this. Because if they're not having fun, they just say, no, I'm good. And you just move on. There's no scenario you make it weird unless you're just weird about it. All right. So let's say out of the 10, okay, out of the 20 that said yes and took the deal, let's say that 10 of those, half of those say yes again. Okay. And then let's say half of those 10 say yes a third time, and then everyone taps out. Usually doesn't work that way. Usually maybe 4 of the 10 would say yes a second time, but one person will take 5 upsells because they're just weird like that. Okay. I had a customer recently go from a replacement table knife to a $4,300 order. Okay. Because again, she just wanted the deal. She wanted to feel taken care of. Okay. So you have to understand a lot of people like that deal you're offering them is allowing them to feel taken care of. Well, guys, here's what that means that over those next 40 demos, just doing the math out, $100 upsells here, Megan would add an extra 3,500 CPO across those 40 demos. That's $3,500. Guys, if you're at 20%, I'm not great at math, but what is that? Like $700 you're going to make for the same amount of work. The same amount of work, just adding like 30 seconds more words, the same amount of phone time, the same amount of demos completed, the same amount of everything, just a couple more words. So that's why it's in your interest to understand you got to offer it every time. And the thing that separates a new rep from a CSP, just so you know, and I love the CSPs. I've been in their weddings. If they'd been around when I got married, they would have been in mine. These are my closest friends. Literally, I'm going to Disney World with my kids later this year, and not with like my siblings who I'm very close to. Screw them. It's way more fun to travel with Cutco people because they have more money. All right, and we're going hard. We're doing the VIP tour at Disney. If you don't know what that is, it is a stupid way to spend $4,000 in a day. But God bless America, we're gonna do it. All right, and like my kids know them as Uncle Calvin and Aunt Kelly and Uncle Steve-O. Okay, and Uncle Roger, like that. This is family to me. And so, but here's the thing: like it's so easy to hear Steven Decker talk and be impressed, and you should be because Steven's amazing. He's very impressive, guys. The only difference between him is he has a head start on y'all. That's the only difference. Okay, but he has learned how to take this stuff seriously, and so he just does it consistently. All right, that's the thing. It's the consistency is what makes his results so consistent. So let's kind of let's go through this here. We kind of went through the rules there, but the simple thing is this: if you want to know how to kind of segue into it, and then I'm going to just quickly go through the handout with y'all, and we'll basically wrap up. I'll turn it back over to John. Okay, I want to try and make this as simple as we possibly can here today. But let me do this. Let me pull the chat up. You will literally hear our CSPs, like our top salespeople. They do this stuff all the time. Just so you know, okay, ... All right. And so just so you know is your segue to cover anything you want, anything you want. Okay. That's what's cool. Like you can talk about anything. Hey, by the way, just so you know, okay, it makes it super easy. Xavier can say, hey, just so you know, that's your segue from whatever they've said yes to. So where we are in this, they've already said yes to something. I don't care if it's a trimmer. Okay. I don't care what it is. Okay. Just so you know, since you are doing, X, okay, we'll just say this. Since you're doing this, buying this trimmer, buying this can opener, buying this ultimate set, okay? Hey, just so you know, since you're doing this, okay, if you do this, I can do this. All right, and this sounds silly, but that's the framework. Okay, hey, let me actually model this for you. Hey, Marcus, just so you know, by the way, since you're getting that petite carver, I don't know if I mentioned that, but if you did want to add on that trimmer that I know you really liked, I could actually get you a paring knife for free. It's just a really cool package they have going, and I'd hate for you not to know your options. Hey, can I show you what it would look like if you did decide to add that trimmer on? Okay, so do y'all see how I'm framing that? Just so you know your options. Someone put that in the chat. Just so you know your options. Okay. It's a really powerful phrase. And then you say, hey, can I show you what that would look like? And they're going to say one of two things. It's no big deal. Marcus is either going to tell me, I mean, I guess it doesn't hurt to see, or Marcus is going to simply say, no, I think I'm good with my petite carver. In which case I say, congratulations, you're going to freaking love your Cutco. I'm so excited you're getting that petite carver. What a great choice. And then I move on and build rapport and get a ton of recommendations from this person. But what makes it effective is the consistency. Hey, by the way, just so you know, since you're getting that paring knife, chef knife, and trimmer, oh, those are amazing pieces. But by the way, just so you know, if you did want to add on that cheese knife and that petite carver, I could actually get you a pair of super shears for free. It's a crazy deal. Okay. And by the way, those shears, Mrs. Jones, that's $140 worth of Cutco. It's crazy. So if you like add on 150, you get an extra 140 for free. It's wild, Mrs. Jones. I would hate for you not to know your options. Hey, can I show that to you just so you can see what it would look like? Okay, because what did I do there? I went from 3 individual knives up to special number 1, which is buy 5 knives and get shears for free. So y'all see what I'm doing? I'm literally just leveraging the deals that y'all already have, but I'm explaining it better to a customer. Okay. So that's the key when you're doing this stuff. So let's see. What else do I want to say other than that? And then I'll go ahead and share the handout. I don't want to lose my place here and lose too much track of time. Okay. So last thing I'll just say is this, guys. The easiest way to kind of offer an upsell to your customer, number one, is just to promote a deal on something that they've already shown interest in, but they're not getting. So let's say that you have a customer who offhand says, "Oh boy, that flower sure is nice. Hey, down the road, that might be something we need to look at." Or they say, "Wow, my wife sure does love to garden, don't you, honey?" And they're like, "Oh my God, I love to garden." Okay, so like through the process of rapport and other things, like once you have some sense, you've identified something they're fired up about. They really like the kitchen tools. Let's say they got the super shears for free with their homemaker, but they were having a really hard time picking between the super shears or the kitchen tools. So then all of a sudden, my target for my upsell would be the kitchen tools. Okay, and so you'll be able to use kind of that list I have. So the two ways that the easiest two ways to offer it. Number one is to try and offer up something they've already expressed some level of interest in. Okay, like let's say that you showed them the homemaker, but they ended up only getting, an all knife set. Okay, great. But they really liked that cheese knife you showed them in the video, or they really liked that 9-inch carver or a carving set, something like that, with Thanksgiving coming up here before you know it. Okay, great. I'm going to target those as my first upsell. Like that's going to be my target. Okay, but then the second way you can do it is with what we call back pocket specials. And that's just like having a list mentally or physically of just different deals you can offer customers. So let's talk about some deals you can offer customers. Okay, let me pull up the handout. Of course, I had it pulled up, and then what do? I click off because that's how God made me. Don't get old, kids. Technology gets weirdly challenging. All right, so let's do this, okay? So got a couple things on here, all right? It says upselling. By the way, there's some of the verbiage at the top, just so you know. Since you do this, I left out if you do this, I can do this because I did this in a hurry, but there you go. Offer deals based off items they've expressed an interest in. When they take an upsell, that means they're a customer who loves deals. Ask, then ask again, then ask again. Keep offering deals until they tell you they are done. Okay, so on here, y'all, I have a list of some deals. Now, I want to tell you straight away, these are CPO killers. Okay, these are CPO killers. So some of y'all who are like really good about tracking your CPO, you're going to see some of these. Some of the managers are going to see these and be like, "Oh my gosh, you're giving a slotted turner away with barbecue tools? You're crazy." And I'll be like, I'm a madman. All right, but I don't care, because here's the deal, guys. I already got the deal. I got the yes. I'm about to walk out of that house with a homemaker, a trimmer, or 2 ultimate sets, whatever it is, but I got the deal. Everything I'm getting from here, it's just bonus. It's just bonus. So I want to be clear, I would not do most of these deals by themselves, okay? Even if they would go through on Cutco orders, I'm just telling you, you don't need to devalue Cutco, but like I wouldn't give someone a free peeler just for buying a pair of super shears. Does everyone understand that? Yes? Nod your heads. All right, good. I would not just give someone a free peeler for buying a pair of super shears, but if what I am doing instead is that Sadie already sold her 3 knives, or Sadie already sold her basic galley set, and let's say that for the free item, she gave him a fishing knife, well, you better believe I'll offer a free peeler with those shears if they want to add them on. Hey, Mrs. Jones, just so you know, they've got this cool deal. Since you're getting that galley set, gosh, if you did want to add those shears on, I could actually get you that Cutco vegetable peeler for free. It's like a $50 peeler. It's a forever peeler. It's one of those things that people $9 themselves to death at Target, buying them over and over again. And plus, on top of that, you get those amazing shears. It's a really popular thing a lot of our customers really like doing. Hey, just so you know your options, can I show you what that would look like if you did want to add those shears on? And that
Hi,
way,
this is Alicia.
free peeler. Okay. So, but
George,
y'all
this
see
is
how
Nick
I'm doing that?
Aiken.
Hey, Michael, we can hear you, bud. If you can mute yourself. Actually, I'll do it for you. There you go. All right. So, but that's the key, guys. You just want to make sure to understand these are things I'm going to do there. If they get an entertainer pack, free garlic press. Damn, I had a brain fart there. Free can opener is what that should say. Sorry, y'all. I'll fix the handout, but I don't care. I'm still going to post it for the moment. But just the same, guys. They get flatware. I'll do a free accessory set. One of the easiest ones you can do is extra table knives or steak knives. Okay. If they add on 4 extra table knives, you're only going to charge them for 3. Okay. So basically, they're going to get 25% off an extra 4 pack of table knives or steak knives. That is the easiest upsell. Okay. I always laugh when y'all sell basic sets, and that's fine if you do. Like, I don't mean that to be hurtful, but it just means like you're not cutting leather, or you just suck at talking about table knives. Guys, company wide, 96% of our homemakers we sell are with table knives. So if you're consistently having customers not really like table knives, trust me, it's a you thing. And that's okay. It's okay. All right. All of us have things. As one of my best friends always used to put it, hey, Brian, the only consistent thing in all your past failed relationships is you. Okay, that was hurtful and accurate. All right, so guys, if you're consistently having customers say, "Oh, I would never need a block," if all your customers are saying that, that says nothing about the block. That just has to do with the way you're talking about them, and that's okay because if you pay attention, you learn and you grow. Okay, if you leave your ego out of it, don't let your pride stand in the way of your paycheck. Okay, but y'all, no set comes with enough table knives. Full stop. Period. No set comes with enough table knives. Ultimate set does not have enough table knives or steak knives. Every customer, once they have Cutco Wall, always needs more table knives or steak knives. It's one of the number one things that my wife and I sell. Guys, let's see. Basic set with table knives, get free super shears and any gadget if you need to add it on. With the K-bar, do a free pocket knife. With a two-piece Santoku set, that's one of our best-selling two-knife sets. It's the two different sizes of Santokus. Get them a free sharpener so they can touch them up. So again, y'all, it's not really about the exact items listed here. This is just meant to give you an easy cheat sheet. The important thing is the technique. What matters way more than like what you're seeing on that page is the fact that Jackson is offering it every time. What matters way more is that Aiden is consistent when they say yes about just offering it again. What matters is that Sophie, when she asks, she's doing it in a way that's really like fun and positive. Hey, just so you know your options, can I show you what that would look like if you did want to add it on? It's not like this big high pressure thing. It's a really fun collaborative thing. So y'all, that being said, you're just scratching the surface. Y'all are right on the front end of all the great things that you're learning. And the SE2 push is the best time. It's the crucible. This is the best time to like accelerate your learning, accelerate your results, and accelerate your earnings. And it's something that there's people on this call right now, and they don't even know they're in the game, but by the end of this thing, they're going to be at 10K for the push just because they commit to the activities. So commit to this activity along with the other things you're doing. But most importantly, y'all, have some fun with it because it's fun to do.